Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Hello, thank you for watching my videos. It's Mike. It's June 23rd, 2009. So last week I was in England and unfortunately wasn't able to do as many videos as I would have liked. In fact, none. However, I'll make up for it this week. Last week, Wednesday, the Office for National Statistics revealed that nearly 20% of Britain's young people are out of work. 20%. Well, actually, it was 18.3% is the official figure, but more than likely the unofficial figure is slightly higher, let's say maybe 7%. So let's say 25% of all 18 to 24-year-olds are out of work in England and Scotland and Wales and Ireland. Sorry. The UK. Shall we just say the UK? Very good. Alright, but I'm rambling. So why is that interesting figure? Over in Iran, they also seem to be suffering with the economic crisis going on. It's difficult to get the actual numbers out, but regardless. Unemployment in general is as high as almost 20% is the official figure. The majority of that unemployment is young people, those aged less than 30. They're getting a little irate. That's why they're protesting. Just like they did in Greece. Just like they've done all over Europe, in fact. It's the young folk that get up in arms. I should know, I met a couple of them yesterday. Phil, that was, I don't know how you were still speaking after that many beers, but anyway. But Phil's an anarchist, and he was having some very interesting things to say, and I was listening. Well, yes, indeed. So the youth are discontent all over the world. So what's going to happen in the summer of hell? It's already started. Over in the UK, 900 workers sacked at oil refinery. Linked over here, as always. Workers walked out last Thursday after 51 jobs were cut, apparently in breach of an agreement they had with Postal. So then managers decided to sack the whole lot of them. Now the independent report says it's 900 people that got fired, and they were given the opportunity of reapplying for their jobs by 5 p.m. on Monday. Well, it didn't happen. So they're striking. They're kind of upset with being treated so badly. Now, so another story here. Workers sacked at Lindsey oil terminal to burn their dismissal letters in protest. And again, in here they're saying it's roughly 650 workers. So that's the official line from Total. Whereas managers confirmed to the Independent it was 900 people. So regardless. What's happening? Well, the unions are getting a little irate about all this. Mass rally in support of 650 sacked oil workers will be held today after a wave of wildcat strikes swept through the UK energy industry. So we're going to start seeing weird things happening with energy supplies as these people go on strike. Now, roughly, total numbers roughly 4,000 people on strike right now in the energy field. Now, Socialist Worker Online seems to be really pushing solidarity can win, spread the strikes. So this is what the Socialist Worker is telling the unions around the country to start spreading the strike beyond even the energy industry. And is having some effect. Postal workers set for strike action. Postal workers in London and Scotland went on strike Friday and Saturday, but more than likely that will continue. They again are upset with how they are being treated. Over here in Canada, indeed, municipal workers in Toronto are going on strike. Gone on strike, and the strike could last well into next month and beyond. So July, August, perhaps even September. It's going to get smelly in Toronto, so if you're planning a visit, don't go to the middle of the city because that's generally where it stinks. Anyway, Windsor, however, in Canada, across from Detroit, has already been striking. Their municipal workers have been on strike for 10 weeks now. No, 9 weeks. Well, it was 9 weeks last week, so anyway, 10 weeks. So the strikes are spreading. The Globe and Mail in Toronto, apparently 97% of employees have voted to strike if they don't get their contract sorted out. And the biggest news over here in Canada, 7,000 LCBO employees prepare to hit picket line. What's the LCBO? Liquor Control Board of Ontario. So they're thinking about going on strike tonight. which means that there's mad panic with across Ontario for people rushing out to buy wine and spirits in preparation for a drawn-out strike. Now, managers will be working, but they've only got 800 of them, so quite a few of the LCBOs will be closed, which means it'll be really difficult to get some scotch, which kind of affects me, but never mind. I don't drink that much anyway. I've already got some. I bought them a couple of days ago. Okay, what's going on? What's happening all over the world? Why are these people getting upset? Well, basically businesses around the world are tightening up. They're laying off people, unemployment is rising. But they're also reducing hours, cutting pay, doing all sorts of weird things like that. Article linked here, most UK businesses freeze pay as recession bites. 6 in every 10 UK companies plan to freeze pay or negotiate cuts, according to a new employment survey by the Confederation of Business Industry. Basically, they're saying that, and they're also getting rid of people, they're making people redundant, so far. Almost 40% had put a freeze on graduate recruitment, and a further 10% said they were recruiting fewer graduates. So half of the businesses won't be hiring as many or any graduates, yet again raising youth unemployment. What else has been happening over there in England? Bank warns of credit supply threat to economic fightback. Despite an injection of £90 billion into the economy by the Bank of England, the flow of lending to businesses and home buyers remains extremely weak, threatening the economic recovery, according to the latest reports from the Bank of England. Indeed it does. Buried in there, reported that the major commercial banks had indicated to it that the situation had not improved during May. Now, what are we talking about, commercial banks? These are all commercial loans. Hello? Real estate. Commercial real estate. It will bang real soon. Green shoots extinguished by dire government borrowing figures. Yeah, another similar story. One of the things in here, though, is that the borrowing is going to the public sector, which seems really, really odd that they're doing this in May. Now, in here, buried in here, basically they're saying, okay, well, that's kind of strange. May is when they normally have a lot of money from tax revenue. Guess they didn't get any, or as many as they wanted, as much as they wanted. So government public borrowing hit a record $19.9 billion. So that was the tax shortfall, evidently, for May. Now, a number of lenders in the UK are offering to write off up to £25,000 of your mortgage debt if customers take their business elsewhere. Quote here, we'll pay you 25 grand to take your mortgage elsewhere. Now, they're only doing this for credit-worthy mortgage holders. Those with negative equity, but are, otherwise fairly decent. So they're getting rid of some of the more dodgy mortgages out there, or trying to, but not to the people they know are going to default. They're just going to write that off. All very interesting. Now, article linked here. One of the banks mentioned in here, and actually just buried in there, specialist lenders such as GMAC, Advantage, part of Morgan Stanley, and Idus, are all offering such deals to selected customers, while Mortgage Express, specialist lending arm of the now defunct Bradford and Bingley, is offering to waive redemption penalties if customers move their mortgage somewhere else. Yeah, trying to get that stuff off the books. Now, GMAC was mentioned in there. Of course, they are General Motors Acceptance Corporation, the financial arm of GM, which was sort of spun off and isn't part of the whole collapse of GM. Article linked here from the Oklahoma banking industry. GMAC bailout unfair to Oklahoma banks. Now, in here, GMAC are doing some rather weird things to get capital coming in. They're offering really high interest rates, much higher than the other banks in Oklahoma. Now, they can't afford to keep doing this. And indicated in this article is they're currently losing something like in the order of $10 billion a month. Sorry, perhaps not that much, maybe $5 billion a month. But still making a huge loss. And nobody's really picking up on this. Wonder why. Now, this whole idea of modifying loans and, getting rid of it, essentially there was a new report from Fitch came out, basically saying that between 2/3 and 3/4 of all modified subprime mortgages will fall back into default within 12 months. Modifications that reduce the principal owed were found to be more successful. This is why they're saying, right, we'll give you 25 grand, you can take your mortgage somewhere else. And finally, a very grim day on Friday. First criminal trial without a jury for 400 years is to be held in the UK. 4 men accused of being part of a gang that stole £1.7 million in a raid at Heathrow faced the first criminal trial without a jury for 400 years in England and Wales. Northern Ireland, they've been doing this for a number of years, but there go your rights, folks. Not good. Now, for Americans who hadn't really noticed, I've linked an article here. U.S. Supreme Court limits Sixth Amendment right to legal counsel. This is your Miranda rights. Now, basically, they can take your Miranda rights away if they figure things are serious enough. I don't know, terrorist attack, some kind of natural disaster. And the Supreme Court said, yeah, that's fine, you just go out and arrest people without telling them they can't call a lawyer, etc., etc., etc. It's all going downhill, folks. But hey, one good story. Cigarettes, whiskey, and wild, wild women. Henry Allingham, now the world's oldest man, on the secret of a long life. Indeed, cigarettes, whiskey, and wild, wild women. It's my plan. Okay, folks. Peace, love, understanding. Think about things. I'll speak to you again soon. Bye.